And we're live. Hey guys, happy Monday. Welcome to Whiskey, Wine, and Writing. I am your host, Natasha.
And I am your co-host, E.L. Wicker.
And tonight we have with us the most awesome Christine Hughes, who is an author of several books. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and talk about those a little bit.
Hi, I'm Christine Hughes. I have a novel coming out in November, Operation Foreplay. And I had one that the first book came out in June, Operation One Night Stand. Those are my first kind of foray into the grown-up smut romantic comedy. Prior to that, my first book was a YA paranormal. I was an English teacher for 9 years, middle school English teacher, so I thought that's where I needed to be, was the YA. So I wrote Torn, and then Darkness Betrayed, the sequel to that. And then I didn't want to write YA anymore. So I wrote 3 Days of Rain, and all three of those novels are published by Crushing Hearts and Black Butterfly Publishing. 3 Days of Rain is kind of a tearjerker. It was my kind the way I thought about it was I wanted to kind of destroy the character and see what I could do, like throw everything at him and see how sad I could make something. And I did. And it's, embrace the ugly cry face because, I mean, comments in my reviews is, have I ever been hugged as a child, or, how can I do that? But then it's either love it or hate it. And then I kind of wanted to get away from that, so I wrote the funny smut, and I love it, and I think it's hysterical. And I just think, the girl empowerment and her going out and getting her own guy and doing whatever she wants without, the slut shaming or any of that is awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah, that's quite a cross of age and genre and everything else. Like you've gone across the spectrum from paranormal to dark women's fiction to romantic comedy. I mean, was it hard slipping from one mindset to the other to get in the mode for that?
I think it was. In the beginning with the young adult paranormal, that was really easy for me because I had just finished, teaching that age level. And that's kind of what the kids were reading, and that's where my brain was and what I was comfortable with. I read a lot of what my students read. So that's just kind of where that went. And then I just felt like I had this other story inside me. And a friend of mine wrote a song. His name's Jay Liberatore. You can check him out on Spotify. The song is 3 Days of Rain. And I just fell in love with the song, and I downloaded it. I would listen to it all the time. And then the story just kind of started popping in my head. And it was not supposed to be a sad story. But I remember sitting in one of the Facebook groups or something, and I was asking one of the agents who was in there doing a chat, and I said, have you ever read, can I say a bad word? Like a WTF book, like the ending, you're like,
what the fuck book? Yeah,
like what the you're done reading it. Like when you're done reading it, you go, what the fuck just happened? And she's like, yeah, I've read a few of those. I said, well, I really want to write one of those. So I just started writing, and I said, okay, well, let's take this guy and let's make him, awesome. And then let's just pull pieces apart and just kind of just keep knocking down his walls and just see what happens. And at the end, just make him everything's gone. How does that work out? And I cried the entire time I wrote it, edited it. I've read it since. I still cry. I think it's hysterical when other people cry. I give them, the sorry not sorry hashtag because I'm a
sorry not sorry.
There's enough.
I was just about to ask, how did it make you feel?
Surprised on that one.
I read a lot of the reviews on 3 Days of Rain, and I was going to ask you, how does it feel that you've made so many people cry? But clearly we know.
Clearly.
Hilarious. So you went from YA paranormal, and then you said, I have another story inside me, and you made it as sad as you could, and you make people cry, and you laugh at their tears. All right.
Yeah.
So is the laughter at their tears what prompted the romantic comedy?
It might have been. I was also watching a ton of. I'm also a stay-at-home mom, so while I'm writing, my kids go to school, so I'm able to kind of stay home. I'm lucky enough to be able to do this, full time. And I was watching a lot of Sex and the City. And I was like, you know what, I really love, you just don't see chicklet as much anymore. And when you do, it's like a bad word. Like, you tell an Asian it's chicklet, and they have, a heart attack. Oh, my gosh, we don't do that anymore. But I love it. I think it's awesome. I think that the female, friendship is huge. Even with movies like Bridesmaids, which I think is hysterical, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Amy Schumer, like I just love all their crazy humor. So I said, you know what, I'm going to write this book, and the funny part, I don't know if it's that funny. I mean, it makes my mom sad, but this is how I talk. In a conversation, I'll talk about a cock or, a vagina, and, I'll talk about, slut whores and but I just think that the friendship that the girls have, I just love it. And when I wrote it, I did not think it was a romance at all. Don't read romance. I don't want anything to do with romance. And then all of a sudden, bam, I get it picked up by Forever Yours. I go to RT in the RT convention in Dallas, and they're like,
"You were there? I was there. I didn't see you.
You were there?
I was there. I was totally there." And now it's like, it's funny how many people you realize were at the Dallas convention that you didn't know. You maybe probably walked by them, were in a a workshop with them, probably, and then all of a sudden you meet them later on. I was at Dallas. You were.
I was there.
I was there.
Oh yeah. No, I was there. I wasn't feeling good the entire time I was there. I was trying to be a trooper. I was really trying to be a trooper. But yeah, my apparently my editor went to my agent and said, I don't think Christine knows that she wrote a romance. And my agent was like, yeah, I don't think she knows either. To me, it wasn't like, the love story is the secondary to the friendship, but you didn't see it that way.
So, Operation One Night Stand, that's your first rom-com. And that, we're actually good, but guys, if you're just tuning in, this is Christine Hughes, author of a ton of books. And we are doing a giveaway over on Whiskey, Wine, and Writing, and Suzanne is actually here tweeting for us, so she will also tweet that link to you for the Rafflecopter. Feel free to enter and either win a hard copy or 2 e-copies. I mean, you're only going to win one, but this is what we're giving away. 1 hard copy and 2 e-copies of Operation One Night Stand. So enter through Rafflecopter, and I believe I have that shutting down Friday, so then we'll announce the winners, and we'll get that information over to Christine, and bam, you're going to get an awesome rom-com.
Yep, I think so.
I think
I'm going to read it tonight.
Oh, yeah, tell me what you think.
Well, now that we're talking about Operation One Night Stand and its giveaway, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Operation One Night Stand is?
Okay, Operation One Night Stand starts off with Caroline drowning in her tears. She had a fiance, 5 years. She walks in on him with in bed with the intern. Originally, it was a little more risque than just being in bed with but they made me take stuff out. So her friends finally get sick of her 6 weeks sitting on the couch, ass imprint, ice cream stains all over the place. She's gained 5 pounds. She's just a slob now. So they come in and they're like, this is ridiculous. This is cliche. Get up. Get your ass up. Let's go. So they take her to a bar and they're like, here's the deal. You pick one. You never had a one-night stand. You need to have one. You need to get this over with. And pick one and you take him home. So she picks one. And, hilarity ensues. They smack on the vagina the next day. She's got...
So basically, this is, girl gets her heart broken. Friends say, nope, we're going on a mission. And this mission is Operation One Night Stand.
Yes. But unfortunately, she sees him the next day, and he asks her out to dinner, so then it's not a one-night stand anymore.
Oh, well, that kind of puts a wrench in Operation One Night Stand. It's going on that snafu side of things.
Yeah, so they go to Jamaica. And then she has a one-night stand there with a college boy.
Oh, this is becoming a theme, I see.
Yeah.
So, and so now you have a new one coming out in November, I want to say?
Yeah. Operation Foreplay.
Operation Foreplay. Now, is this like a sequel in the same universe with different characters?
It's the same universe, same characters, different main character.
Okay.
So Melody is... There's three girls, 3 main girls. There's Sarah, Caroline, and Melody. Caroline was the first book. Melody is the second book. She's a little raunchier. She's a bit of a bed hopper, and she's having an affair with her married boss. Her friends...
Dun. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. He's going to get a divorce any moment now for her. So her friends kind of dare her, give her the challenge to, why don't you just kind of abstain until you turn 30. So she's, she kind of toys with it a little bit. She says no. She has yet another issue with her bed hopping. Now he's the size of her big toe. So then she finally decides to give it up until she turns 30.
Okay, that's kind of funny because I actually have a bet going on with one of my friends who's one of the 4 guys being obnoxious in my living room right now. One of my friends just passed the ATF physical portion of his test, so they're out there celebrating, which is great.
Oh, they've been good. We can't hear them now.
But you're not celebrating?
I'm here. I'll be out there after. But another one of our friends who's here celebrating with us, we made a bet yesterday that he has bad luck with women, such bad luck. And he was like, I'm done with women for the next 6 months. I'm going to the gym 4 times a week, and I'm not messing with women at all. I go, this is now becoming a bet. This is a bet. So we now have a bet for the next 6 months that he is not going to sleep or be with a woman. And he's going to go to gym. I gave him 3 times. I'm like, because I understand 4 times a week. Sometimes stuff happens. So you got 4 times a week at gym and no women for 6 months. So, and we have terms. Like, if he wins, I'm getting him a bottle of Hennessy and I'm cooking him dinner because he loves Simon. And then if I win, I told him he has to get me a spa day. So
is he allowed to?
We've known each other.
Is he allowed to be handy during this time?
No, because my husband would kill him. My husband is one of the ones out there too, but
actually with himself.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well no, because I'm thinking in the book she's not allowed to.
Oh really? I told him I won't torture him like that. We were joking he's gonna have one really strong arm, so. But actually we've known each other since kindergarten. He's like my oldest friend, so it's just funny that this is happening. I was like, oh yes, this is a bet. So I kind of feel well, I guess he feels the protagonist.
Yes.
In Operation Foreplay.
Oh my gosh. That's like that Seinfeld episode, The Master of My Domain. You gotta look it up.
So is the, you said there were 3 characters, so is there a 3rd book coming after Operation Foreplay?
Yes, I'm writing the 3rd book. Right now it has a tentative title. It's not sexy enough. Operation Cohabitation. Operation Foreplay was originally Operation Distraction, but then the editors changed it to make it a little sexier. But the next one, the 3rd book, is Sarah moves in with her boyfriend. So then it's all that kind of hilarity, and he's on business a lot, so there's going to be a lot of checking the computer and people walking in during a video chat, like those kinds of pubes in the toilet. I don't know, like. Yeah.
That's definitely going to be interesting. So that's a good way to segue into what is the first thing you do when you sit down to write a novel? Are you a pantser or a plotter or? Oh,
I am definitely a pantser. I've tried to plot, and then the plot just kind of ends up nowhere near what I was supposed to do. But I usually start with a song or a scene or a something, and I pull that in. Like Operation Foreplay originally had a different first chapter. So then I wrote that chapter, and that wasn't good enough, so then I had to go and write directly before that. But usually it's a scene or a song or something, but it just kind of happens, and I just kind of sit, and usually the first 10,000 just bangs out real fast. And then I'm really slow. And then I bang out, like, usually the last 10 pretty easy.
Do you start at the beginning, or do you start somewhere, like, in the middle and work around it?
Well, with Operation One Night Stand, I definitely started in the beginning. With Operation Foreplay, I pretty much started in the beginning, too, but I kind of knew where it was going. With Operation, the 3rd one, whatever it'll be called, Operation Cohabitation right now, I've written I wrote about 20K and then chopped off about 10, so I'm still sitting at like 10 or 11, and then I realized that's not the beginning. I realized that's the middle, so I kind of like had to stare at.
That one's not being as linear as you'd like it to be.
Right, exactly. So I mean, I have like this really cool scene. I'm like, this would be a great opening scene, but I'm like, too much other stuff needs to happen first, and I think that I learned that from going through the edits and the copy edits with the people at Forever Yours. They're just great editors. They're amazing, and they've helped me kind of see how to tighten things up. And because the story follows you know, because the story does happen kind of in real time, even though it's the different main characters, it still kind of goes along. I kind of see what they want at the beginning and what they want kind of woven into it, so I'm able to pull that in now.
We've actually had a lot of people lately ask, how do you know where the beginning is? Because so many, including myself, I do this all the time, ask Em, she has seen my work. I have a bad habit of starting in the wrong place. And
I start slow, so we all have habits.
I think, you know, your beginning is generally the hardest because you do have to find that sweet spot to start. So what is your suggestion on how to find out where your novel starts, where you should be starting it?
Well, I find that a lot of times when people start, there's a ton of info dump in the beginning until like it kind of gets sorted out and edited. So I think that when you write your first however many words that you feel is your beginning, I say print it out. And I've done this before. And you kind of look at it and you just start to pull out, okay, well this is an info dump and I'm just kind of like throwing it at people, but what can I expand on that? What else needs to be known? And I did that. I wish I had done that a little bit more with 3 Days of Rain. A lot of people have asked for a sequel on that book, and I don't think it has anywhere to go. However, I feel like there's a lot before it that I could probably write and pull in. So I feel as though there's probably like either another novel in front of it or another 20,000 words in front of where it started. But definitely I would just pull it apart and just, you know, expand upon like little nuances and little plot points that kind of pop out at you.
Awesome. Em, you're being all quiet tonight. What's going on?
I am being quiet. I have lots of questions though.
Tell me.
We're waiting.
Well, most of the questions I have that Tasha keeps asking you. So, but I have got one that I read that. The reason I want to know about this is because I had it too. But you originally wrote in present tense. I think it was your first book, and you had to change it to past tense. Have you got any tips for anyone that has to do that? Because I have to do that myself, and it is not fun.
No, it is not fun. And that was originally when Torn first was picked up. I wrote it entirely in present tense, and I had an offer from a publisher, and they said, we want this, but we want it in past tense, and we'll give you the contract once that's done. And that was the hardest thing, you know, because it's line by line by line, and you just hope to God you have a great editor following you, because, you know, I mean, even like 3 editors later, I was still finding, because your head is just kind of so in that moment, and you've written it, and you've written it in present tense, so you see it, and you read it in present tense. So when it's in past, it's funky. Now I'm better with it. Now I don't think I could write in present tense anymore. I don't know if that turned me off to it, or maybe just what I write. But yeah, I don't. That wasn't easy. You know?
Have you got any hints and tips for when you did it, like turning it around from the present to past?
I wish I had a ton. I wish I did. It's a lot. You have to line edit. You have to print it out, chapter by chapter and line by line, and just do it. I did it that way. I didn't do it on the computer. I printed it out, the full manuscript, and I just took my time with a red pen and just made sure I knew where I was and did it that way.
How long did it take you?
About a month.
Not too bad.
No, it's not too bad. I mean, but it's a month of, you know, you work every day, and so I think I ran through it twice, and then I turned it in. It was good enough to be turned in, and then we found more later.
Yeah.
I used to write in.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, I used to write in first person. We're going to keep talking over each other. That happens, especially. We do that. It's okay. It's fine.
You go.
You go.
No, you go.
Now I go? Are you sure?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. I didn't want it to be a you go. No, okay. No, I was just going to say, I used to write in first person before I got my agent. I used to write in first person all the time, and then I just kind of decided I'm going to try third person. And so that's what I wound up getting picked up on, was a third person novel. By then it was like my second or third that I'd actually written in third person, and now when I try to write in first person, I feel like I can't do it. Like, this is not working. So I kind of get what saying that you went from one tent to another,
Yeah.
and it's just so hard to go back. But at the same time, I've noticed sometimes I'll go in and I'll be like he, she, and then just random I said to him.
Yes.
You know, and so you have to like edit those out. I still do that sometimes.
Yes. Yes, I do that all the time, and I find what's funny is there are chunks that you delete when you kill your darlings and all that stuff. Is I don't delete them. I copy and paste them to a different document. So I have this document of just random scenes that I just save, and I'll go through and I'll be like, oh, this would be good for this novel, but now I got to go through and take out all the past tense or all the first this or all change the names and da da da. So yeah, that gets to be a little trying, but these are, I think these are written in first person. I think they're all written. Yeah, I think everything I've done so far is written in first person. I've tried third, which I would like to try third. I have some things on my laptop that I'm working on, but I don't know. Like I feel like I love third because you can just get everybody's emotions. And you can kind of like figure out where you are, but then I find that I'm head hopping so much that I get all confused.
Yeah, even in third, if you have too many points of view, it could be kind of difficult, and you can lose the aspect of the story with too many characters running around. So
right.
Definitely something you got to be careful about.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Em, your turn.
Well, okay, I want to know, because your series, you said that it's you got the first book, you got the 3 females in it. Mm-hmm. And then the second book is one of the other females as the main character. Yeah. I absolutely adore those kind of books. We'll breathe yours in. Did you know going into writing that first book that that's what you were going to do?
Yes. I absolutely, yeah. I knew I was going to do that. I had my 3 main characters named. There's a 4th girl she's the brother of one of the guys from Operation One Night Stand, and she's mentioned in Operation One Night Stand. She's mentioned more in Operation Foreplay, and then in the 3rd book I'm writing, she's mentioned even more. I'm trying to get her set up for her own book.
Laying the groundwork.
Yes, laying the groundwork. She is a tabloid reporter, so that'll be fun. So that one in my head is tentatively Operation Scoop. So she's going to go from, they're all set in New Jersey, where I live, so she's going to go to California and go get the scoop.
Remind me after this, I have to ask you where in Jersey you live, because my husband is from Jersey, so I always have to ask people from Jersey. What part of Jersey are you from? What?
Ask him if he does the fist bump, the Jersey fist bump.
Oh, yeah, he does.
My husband and I went to Vegas, and there were these people, and they go, oh, where are you from? We said, oh, New Jersey. And they go, oh, do you know the Jersey Shore guys? And we're like, no, not everybody from Jersey knows those guys. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't care if I say where he was from. He's from Browns Mills. I don't know if you know where that is, but
south of me, about 20 minutes south.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. All right. Well, you're right by him, by the Pine Barrens. So yeah.
Yeah. The Jersey Devil.
Yeah, he knows that lore pretty inside and out. He actually has a tattoo of the Jersey Devil on his arm. So
yeah, that's pretty scary. Don't get stuck in the Pine Barrens at night. It's pretty. You don't do that.
So we've been talking about all these awesome aspects of writing. What is your biggest weakness when it comes to writing? Like, what's your biggest flaw? The hardest thing for you to do?
Writing and ending is terrible, and staying on deadline. Oh my God. I hate deadlines. I've never missed an outside imposed deadline. I can't make I can self-impose a deadline all day, and then when it comes, I'm like, I got 3 more days. It's just, deadlines are just, they kill me. But yeah, writing the ending, I feel like I can never wrap it up, and then when I wrap it up, it's like, there's more. There's other stuff that could happen. But with my Forever Yours, it's digital, and print is secondary in my contract, so I can only have so many words. And I'm like, with Operation Foreplay, I'm so close. I'm like, I can't add anything else. So I feel like that there's more. But the good thing is that story will continue in book 3, just like Caroline's story continues in Operation Foreplay. So you see her and who she ends up with in this book. And then in the 3rd book, you'll see who Melody is with and how that kind of continues on. So, that kind of helps me out. But yeah, endings They're terrible.
I think endings are just as hard to write as beginnings because
Yeah.
you can mess those up just as easily. It's
Yes,
so
you
easy
can.
to mess up an ending.
Yeah, no, you absolutely can. And, you know, even with this one, I've had a couple of reviews, and they're like, I feel like it was rushed, or it didn't end, or we don't know what's going on, or, you know, I mean, it's not a Cliffy, so, you know, at the end, you know, there's an HEA in there.
I'm a Cliffy writer. I haven't got any abuse yet over it. I do get sad messages, but
I don't understand why people get upset about them. Just read the next book. Don't be so upset.
You've written contemporary romantic comedy, contemporary women fiction, YA, PNR. Have you got a favourite one? I mean, I know that you're very much writing the rom-com at the moment, contemporary rom-com. Is that your favourite?
Well, the contemporary, the romantic comedy is more my personality. It's more that, you know, kind of like saucy humor. I have, you know, I have that humor, and I have my girlfriends, and you know, we'll sit on the deck and we'll drink our wine, and we'll just be silly. But 3 Days of Rain, it's, you know, even though that was a heart-wrenching thing to write, it was, you know, really hard to write for 5 months. You know, I just was like a zombie. I love that story, and I don't know, and I don't get upset anymore when I read reviews, because, you know, you go on, you know, you're not supposed to read your reviews because then you get sad. I've developed a thick enough skin where I don't get upset, but that one is my baby, so I'm always like, well, you know, there's enough reviews out there that you can't really complain that it made you cry, you know. But yeah, everybody
You know it's coming.
Yeah, you know, everybody has their own thing. You know, I don't get mad at reviews. Like a 1 star is a 1 star, 5 stars a 5 star. You know, everybody just gives their own opinion, and I love the opinion. And if you give me, and you know, I don't know, I find value in every review that I've had on anything I've written so far. So, but that one is my baby, 3 Days of Rain.
Okay. Your first book, you started writing that just because you wanted to write. You had something in your head, and you just wrote the little bit down, and you just went bigger from there. Yeah. As you've gone on and started writing in different genres, do you write now with the market in mind, or do you just write whatever's shouting loudest to come out?
I write whatever's shouting loudest, and that's probably eventually going to tick off my agent, because now I'm kind of, at least where I am right now, it's like smutty rom-com, you know? And she and I, like, we kick around ideas, and I love my agent. Michelle Johnson from Inklings is just fantastic. We share a brain, and I love the fact I'll wake up, and at 3 o'clock in the morning she sees this smutty, dirty, whatever it is, and she'll send it to me, you know? Love her. And she was actually my roommate at RT. She's hysterical. Oh my gosh, I can't. But anyway, so, you know, she's like, you know, you're in that smutty funny, and I'm like, oh, but what if I want to write, like, I don't know, like, what if I want to write something sad? And she's like, I just feel like her eyeballs are like like this, like, no, like, I don't know, because I feel like everybody has to stay with that one thing to gather their fan base and all that. I need to learn how to kind of follow that without, I don't know, doing whatever I want all the time.
All right, well, we've reached the halfway mark, so now we kind of like to do the What's Up With You segment, which is basically something just pretty good going on in your life, something positive, whether it's writing related or not. So, Christine, what's up with you?
My boys just started football, and it is officially football season, and I am in love with football season with my kids. Literally 5 days a week, we have been at the fields. We are going crazy right now. First game is this weekend. You know, one of them is just got is going to play defensive end. The other one is, guard and corner, and I just couldn't be more proud of them. And it's my favorite thing. You get pumpkin coffee, and I'm waiting for sweatshirts, and you go stand out on the football field, and you just watch the kids play. I love it. Favorite thing.
Awesome. Well, congrats to your kids, and good luck on their football season.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Em, what's up with you?
What's up with me? I've had a really good week, but you know why?
I don't know why.
We know why. I had a new advertiser advertise my book for me, and it resulted in thousands and thousands of downloads. over the
Awesome.
course of 2 days. So it hit #1 in, I think it was four subgenres across the charts on Amazon, and peaked at 84 overall. So it's a pretty good
Nice.
week.
Which
That's an
is
awesome week.
amazing.
You're not kidding. Good job.
Ah,
Yes.
thank
That-
you. What's up with you, Natasha?
Oh crap! What is up with me?
You're home? Yay!
I don't know. I'm always so busy. I'm back new semester at the university. Oh, I got something. There were 2 positions open for the fiction editor position for the Lit magazine at my school, and I got one of them. So
Awesome.
I'm totally stoked and excited about that. Wednesday, I actually get to find out more about it because it's like our first meeting. So we're going to do that. But yeah, I got the position of fiction editor, so I'm totally stoked and excited to do that.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
I told you so.
Shush you. That's besides the point. That's besides the point. So.
Well done. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. So, Christine, let's go back and talk about your agent a little bit. How hard was it for you to snag an agent? Did you snag it on your YA? Was it your first book that you got the agent? How did that work out for you?
I didn't snag my agent until Operation One Night Stand. Michelle and I have known each other in some capacity. We met through Facebook. I used to write on a blog that she and another agent ran called, oh my God, what was it? Some Stories Told. And I would write. It was kind of, she kind of picked me up because Torn and Darkness Betrayed are considered sort of like a biblical paranormal because of the angels and stuff, and I kind of recreate the fall of Lucifer, and it kind of wasn't his fault and that whole thing. So they would, you know, do reviews on Supernatural and all that stuff on this blog. So what I would do, I know, right? So I would
Supernatural.
and I would write kind of snarky, you know, what if stories from the Bible really were true? And I would like take it and make everything literal, you know, like gluten-free Jesus, and I would pop Kanye on there, you know, he's Yeezus and all this stuff. But it was very snarky humor, and she apparently had been waiting for that voice to come through because I queried her with Torn and Darkness Betrayed and 3 Days of Rain, and no goes for her. And then this one came up, and she's like, this is what I have been waiting for. And apparently this is what she calls my true voice. So I don't know.
Can you tell me about the day that you found out that she was going to represent that book? How did that feel?
Amazing. It was last October, and I was actually on the football field watching my kids practice when, you know, she said, you know, do you have a minute? And I said, okay. So, no, that's when I found out I got the contract. When I was with her, was on my back deck. That's when she was like, do you have a minute? So I got on the phone with her, and she was driving from, I think, Florida. They were in the car taking a long drive, and she's like, I'm reading this. It's hysterical. You know, we talked, and she's like, you know, I really want to represent you. And I was like finally. It's like just, I don't know. I feel like she's
So
like
did you
my
still have to traditionally query?
Not now, no.
No. I meant for your agent. Did you have to, because you knew her, did you have to traditionally query, or?
I did traditionally query, and she would make fun of me because I, you know, Ms. Johnson, and she's like, you know me, you don't have to call me Ms. Johnson. But, you know, like, I don't know what else to do. So, I mean, I would query her like a real query and then kind of, you know, hey, guess what, I just sent you a query.
Sorry,
hey, puppy.
hold on 1 second.
Storm. That's Tasha's dog.
So.
How long did it take from the time that you were told that it would be published until the time that Operation One Night Stand hit the shelves? Was it a while?
Yeah, actually, I think I got my agent and my contract within 2 days of each other, 2 or 3 days. And that was October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. 8 months. I'm not a math person. I'm doing it on my hands.
Me neither. That's why I'm letting you do the counting.
Yeah, so, you know, 8 months between then, and then I turned in Operation Foreplay in January, and it's coming out in November, so 11 months.
Wahoo, that's amazing. I totally missed the first half of that, but I'm still going, that's amazing.
Woo, it's amazing.
And so, Christine, this is the loudmouth.
Oh, puppies.
I told you that we tend to have, you know, impromptu guests, and
Yeah.
Storm wanted attention, so she was like, pick me up, and when I didn't, that's when she started barking. So, Em, I totally missed the question, so I'll let you take the next one so I can catch up.
I just asked how long it took between the time the book was said that it would be published and the time that it came out.
Oh.
So my next question follows on from that, really, because Operation One Night Stand was the first. Was Operation Foreplay automatically picked up because of it being sort of book 2 in a series?
My original contract was for 2 books. So it was Operation Foreplay was half written by the time my contract with Operation One Night Stand came through. So they gave me a deadline, and I finished it up and turned it in. So book 3 hasn't been picked up. I'm hoping that they'll exercise, you know, whatever it is they want to exercise, and they'll take it. We'll see.
One day at a time.
Operation Foreplay, they didn't read right away. So when I had my first round edits, it was a lot of rewrite. It was.
Did you said that Operation Foreplay was already half written when you got the 2-book deal. Now, did you start writing that before or after you got your agent?
Before.
Okay. Because a lot of people suggest that you work on something besides the series. Like, you can have the series, like, you know what you're going to write, but write something else in the meantime just in case that series doesn't get picked up. Now, is that something you think holds true, or what's your opinion on that?
I agree with that, but I don't follow my own advice.
I love that.
I look at them because they could be standalone books because they are different protagonists. So Operation Foreplay, you do not need to read Operation One Night Stand, although I suggest you do. Make some of the cocktails and, you know, get yourself cozy and read about Melanie and her escapades. But I planned them to be standalones. Now, Torn and Darkness Betrayed, Torn, you know, I am lucky enough to have a publisher. For those, like I said, Crushing Hearts is amazing. S.J. Davis, who runs it, is just phenomenal. And 3 Days of Rain is with the same company. People are still waiting for the 3rd book because there is a Cliffy in Darkness Betrayed, but I just really don't feel like writing my paranormal. So I feel bad because I've had a lot of questions lately, you know, when it's the 3rd one, and I want to say, like, soon, but, you know.
I get that. Both of mine have a Cliffy, and, like, from the time, seriously, within a couple of days of the book coming out with a cliffhanger, you get questions through your Facebook or your Twitter or, you know, your blog. When's the next one coming out? I thought, oh, I haven't even written it yet.
I know. Everybody. Well, that's the hard thing, because you have these writers that, you know, they're producing, you know, really good material. Some of them, and some, you know, some of them are, some of them aren't. But, you know, people fall in love with these series, and they're just writing them so fast, and they're able. I am a slow writer. I can't. I just can't produce that quickly. There's, you know, I heard a story about somebody, you know, writing an 80,000-word novel in 7 days. I couldn't do that.
I do that in about 7 months.
When did you sleep, shower, eat, and use the bathroom? That's my question.
Right.
For that person. Whoever that person is, I want to know how you did everything else.
I struggle with NaNoWriMo, the 50,000 in a month. I don't think I slept that month.
Yeah, what is it, 1,600 a day, and then by day 2 you're like, I'm 5,000 behind already.
Oh, I can win NaNoWriMo. I can't promise the content's going to be good, but I can win NaNoWriMo.
No, I shelved my last NaNoWriMo project because I banged out 50,000 words in a month, and it was utter rubbish, which is a word.
I would love to do NaNoWriMo this year, but I don't think I'm going to have the time between school, now being the fiction editor, Pitch Wars, the show, plus my own stuff, you know. I don't think that's gonna happen this year, guys. Sorry.
I always say I'm not going to, and then I end up doing it like a couple days before, because then the Portsmouth writers are on to me like, "Are you doing it? Are you doing it?" I'm like, "No," and then the day of sign up, yeah, I'm doing it.
But November is also finals month for me, so it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, that's really tough.
Not with everything else going on. I don't think it's gonna happen this year. So, but you know, it is what it is, and sometimes that happens, and that's why I said the person who wrote 80,000 words in a week How?
Yeah.
How is that? I feel like I just walked into the Twilight Zone when you told me that.
No,
I feel like they have a little workshop of slaves that can write, and they
I heard that it was at a panel in Dallas when I heard that, and I like, what? Oh my God, my husband would shoot me. My kids would forget, like, oh my God, they'd be eating sludge and like pizza, and they'd never shower, and bugs would be flying around them because they're so gross. Oh, I can never do that. I have brain capacity to pump out that many words in a day. I mean, I talk that much because I don't shut up a lot of times. But if I could just write as much as I talk, that would be
amazing. I know they have that, like, the dragon writing software or whatever, all those dictation softwares, but they never work for me. I don't know if it's because I talk too fast or I don't know, but they're always messing up my words, always. And it's just, it's a bad thing. I'm like, nope.
Well, that's the thing. Like, what if you want to change it? And I say like 50,000 times. Do you go through and like delete all your ums?
Yeah, basically. So that's why I don't particularly like it. I prefer to type it. And I don't know, I can't talk my stories as well as I can write them anyway, if that makes sense.
Right.
I just can't do it. My husband yells at me all the time, like, if I sit there and I mess up my words, he's like, but you're a writer, you're a freaking English major, how are you messing up your words? I'm like, because I write them better than I talk them, and that's just how it is.
Oh my gosh, my husband says, you're an English major, you can help our son learn, with all his reading and stuff. I'm like, I taught middle school, I didn't teach elementary school, I don't know what this is, I don't know what a flat Stanley is. You can't teach that.
I know, it's definitely different, I think, talking your stories to physically writing or typing them. I think it's a totally different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I need time to think about the words that I'm putting on a page. I can't just blurt them out.
Yeah, half the time writing is staring at the screen like, what's coming? Yep. I do.
And then, I don't necessarily have that barrier between my brain and my mouth, but I do between my brain and my fingers. So I guess that's where that comes in as well. So
yeah, it helps.
Mm-hmm. It definitely helps. So okay, I'm sorry. She is just needy tonight. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but okay.
Christine, can I ask you a difficult question?
Sure.
I don't know if it would be difficult or not for you. It might be. It would be.
I just like listening to your voice.
I know, she has such a beautiful accent, doesn't she?
It's normal to me. What is your favourite book that you have written? Do you have a favourite?
That I've written or read? Written?
Yeah.
3 Days of Rain, I think, is my favorite.
Straight off. Bam. 3 Days of Rain.
Well, she said earlier it was her baby. Like, she was totally gushing over it. I had a feeling that she knew which one it was.
Yeah.
So now, aside from the rom-com series, are you planning, like, do you want to try a different genre? Do you plan on staying just in the adult category and kind of changing out genres to see what you want to write, or are you going to stick with the rom-com for a while?
Well, I think I'm really funny. I think I may not be, but I like to think that I am, so I like to stick with that. And when you were talking about, like, the filter from, like, your brain to your fingers, I like turned off my filter, and I kind of write like as raunchy as I can. I'm like, let's see what they put in and what they take out, and that's kind of fun to do that. I definitely want to write for the adult. I will eventually finish the young adult series, but I don't want to write that anymore. There's far too many bad words that I like to use, and far too much sex that I like to talk about and read about. And other people need to read about it because, maybe that's where they get it and they need to learn things or, read about them and get excited.
When I said a filter, I kind of more meant that I know what I'm saying at that point, whereas if I go to say something, I might say it backwards or I don't say what I mean. Okay. I think I'm saying what I mean. But I'm not saying what I mean. But I can type what I mean, if that makes more sense.
I got it.
So, and I'm sorry, my dog is distracting me tonight.
Cute.
She is old and needy. She's 10, actually. And so I think what she did, because her daddy got her a giant bone, I think she OD'd on the bone.
Oh, poor baby.
Probably, because her belly's big, so I think she OD'd on the bone, and she's just like, I'm so full. So that could be what happened.
Yeah.
So, okay, now back to that question of what are you reading right now, or what's your, what's going on with that?
I am reading Ghost of the Watchmen. But I'm a little afraid, so I'm reading it very slow because I love Atticus and I think he's a grand hero in all literature. But I'm a little nervous from some of the things that I've read about him in this book, and I don't want his image sullied in my mind. So,
Ghost of the Watchmen, I just kind of took it as its own, because really it's not. It's totally different than To Kill a Mockingbird. You would not know these are the same characters.
Yeah.
So I just kind of took it as a separate entity.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. I didn't gush over the story overall. I really think that whoever told her to write it as Scout's point of view as a child had the right course, because that I love To Kill a Mockingbird. I just don't think.
Yeah. I'm not loving this.
Yeah, I'm not. I didn't love it either. So. Yeah. But
I'm definitely not loving it. I haven't gotten anywhere where there's an issue with my vision of Atticus yet. So, but I'm just like.
You will.
Yeah.
You will. Just you will. But what about you, Em? What are you reading?
I have to check. Oh, Cocky Bastard. I was supposed to read it last week, but I'm reading it this week. It's Penelope Ward and Vi Keeland. They collaborated. They wrote one together.
You are so addicted to Penelope Ward. I just want to say that.
I'm addicted to book porn.
There's nothing wrong with book porn. Like,
no.
There's nothing wrong with this. I mean, I am also a romance writer, so I like my sexy scenes. Mm-hmm. So, and, some people were actually asking, they were like, what's Fade to Black? And I'm like, well, Fade to Black means you don't actually write up the sex scene. You're taking it to a point where maybe they're just getting into bed or taking off their clothes, and then you fade in, that's the end of that. You move on to the next scene where you're fading in after everything's done. So I don't like to do that personally. I like to be like, let's get it on.
You're good at writing sexy times. I've read a couple of them.
So
the first sex scene I wrote, and it was very tame, was in 3 Days of Rain, and I blushed my whole way through it. And I was like, oh my God, what is my mom going to think? And then my grandma starts reading Operation One Night Stand, and she goes, is this going to make me horny? And she's 93 years old. And I'm like, first of all, you're 93. I didn't think you got horny, but good for you, Grandma. And I don't want to know anything about it.
Well, maybe she needs to meet my 96-year-old grandfather. So,
Somebody. I bought her the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. She read them in like a few days. She's like, oh, this is awesome.
That's amazing. So I'm actually reading Uneasy in New Orleans by Carol Carson. I got it from NetGalley, and I'm loving it. It's romantic suspense. I'm loving it. I'm not reading it as fast as I would like because I got bombarded with school stuff and reading all that. So I actually am also reading A Canticle for Leibowitz by Walter M. Miller, which is a classic dystopian, believe it or not, for my lit theory class, which lit theory sucks, people. Probably the worst class ever. I'm only going into the second week for it tomorrow because I only have the class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I hate lit theory already. Just going in the second week.
You're just putting that out there right now. You hate lit theory. Suzanne, hashtag that up.
Yeah.
Hates lit theory.
I hate lit theory. I don't understand half of what I read in these giant books like this one.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have a bigger one, and this professor requires you to bring all 4 of his books to every class. I have a bigger one than this. So yeah, it's definitely exercise. I get that weight training going on when I take all these books. So, all right, there you go, Storm.
I graduated college in '98. I do not miss that at all.
I went back late because there was a lot of things going on in my early 20s, so I was like, I got the chance to go back, so now I'm going back, and I'm doing pretty well with it.
Absolutely, go back when you go back,
Exactly.
I'm going to go back next year. Tasha, you can help me.
As long as it's not math.
No.
No math. No math. Just no math. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I like that hashtag fuck math.
There we go.
Hashtag up, Suzanne. Hashtag fuck math.
There you go. Boom. I love Suzanne because she is like the best social media person.
My social media person. Oh my God.
She's great. But so let's I did want to ask you this, I didn't get a chance. So especially with the 80,000 words in a week, what's your writing schedule like? Because, you know, sometimes people who have kids and have to run around with football schedules and everything like that, they have a hard time finding the time to write. So what do you do to ensure that you write these novels, that you get your words churned out?
Summertime, it doesn't usually happen because the boys are home with me. So I try not to be hard on myself, and I just figure whatever I get done in a day, I get done in a day. But when they start school, you know, that's a good, I guess by the time they drop off and they come home and I have to leave to go get them, you know, it's a good like 6 hours where I need to be able to write something. And, you know, I try to push 3,000, 4,000 words a day. You know, I try to do the 1K 1 hour every now and then. We have, you know, Crushing Hearts has, we have a nice group with a lot of the authors where we go in and we do sprints. You know, for an hour we kind of keep ourselves honest, and, you know, if you only get like a couple hundred words in an hour, they're like, what the hell's the matter with you? And, you know, sometimes it happens. But, I don't know. It's during the school year is much easier for me than when they're home. And, yeah, this year I had edits due in the summertime, so that was difficult with the boys. Because then I feel like, you know, I'm ignoring them and I'm trying not to.
Yeah, well, they're home more, so that's, you know, you got to find that balance to where you can write and then pay enough attention to your family. At least when they're at school during those hours, you have a few hours to yourself where you don't, you know, have to worry about taking care of everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of like what people say with when you first have babies, learn to take naps when the baby's napping.
Yeah.
Learn to write when the baby's napping. So,
I haven't written anything this summer. Nothing.
No, it's hard. Summertime is hard to write.
Yeah. It is, and I don't even have kids, but I had a mom who had a full knee replacement, so I was up in Central Florida taking care of her. So it was like I would try, and then no. That's why I'm on a self-imposed deadline to have the edits done, and to M, my CP partner, by September 1st. So I keep telling her, I promise you, I'm going to have them. I'm going to have them. I've had 4 chapters left to edit for 2 months.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so it's like, no, I need to finish this.
Yeah, it's all right, because I think it's been my chapter on our CP group for about 3 weeks now, and I still haven't written one, so I have nothing.
Yeah, and then it's just, it's starting to normalize now. We have the same thing even with our CP group, that none of us could get together at the normal time. We do Skype sessions because she's in England, I'm in Florida, and then we have another one in the U.S. and another one in, oh my God,
Portugal.
Thank you, Portugal. And so Sunday we had our time set, and the 4 of us would get together and we'd go over our stuff. And now it's like, just for the summer, it has not worked.
Yeah. Well, summer's hard, too, because, you know, I want to be outside, and I want to go to the beach, and I want to go to the pool, and I want to, you know, I don't want to sit inside. It's just too nice out. There's too many, I don't know.
And the people who sit there in commercials and have their laptops at the beach are damn liars, okay? Because either you can't see the screen, or your equipment's going to overheat.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. And it'll shut off right in the middle of something. So the people who have those stuff, typing at the beach, no, that doesn't happen.
Liar.
Hashtag lying fucks.
There you go. I agree. I concur.
Hashtag it up.
Oh, Christine, we need to hang out more. I love you.
Are you going to RT next year? Yeah, we're getting drunk together in the bar, just forewarning.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, I love that.
RT Vegas for the win. You know, we're going to be running out. Like, no, I'm just kidding. But no, it'll be fun. Yeah, RT Vegas. So
my husband wants to go to this one. He's like, it's Vegas. Why can't I'm like?
I told my husband he should come, and he's like, no, that's your thing. That's your writing thing. I don't want to get in the way. He's like so scared he's going to get in the way. I'm like, yeah, no, you'll be fine.
He could go throw like craps and I don't know, poker and.
Yeah, he could. So, but holy crap, it's 8:54. See, I love it when we have guests who are so awesome, and you don't even realize that it's been an hour until it's just like, oh crap, look at what time it is. So, is there anything that we didn't touch on that you wanted to talk about or say before we go ahead and sign off for the night?
I can't think of anything. I don't know. Go on, you know, go over to like, what is it, www.chbb.com and go check out all the books from Crushing Hearts Black Butterfly Publishing. They're awesome. A lot of my writer brothers and sisters are just fantastic over there. They have, you know, imprints, hot ink press if you're looking for something a little spicy. They have Steamworks. They have Fantasy. Or, just head on over to Amazon and pick up some Operation One Night Stand. See, there's my pillow princess right there. See her? Isn't she pretty?
I love that you called her a pillow princess. Hilarious.
And don't forget to follow at Hughes Writer on Twitter, so you're following Christine. And
giveaway.
Yeah, we've got the giveaway. Rafflecopter.
It's just chbb.com, not chbbpublishing.com. I just saw the Twitter pop up.
But we do have a giveaway going on for Operation One Night Stand at whiskeywineWriting.com on the main front page. So feel free to hop on over there and enter the Rafflecopter giveaway, because you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because one of the ways to enter is to follow Christine Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get an entry just by going over there and following her, and yay! So, and it is 1 hard copy, 2 ebooks, so that's 3 chances to win.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you enter and do the damn thing.
Yes.
And next week, I will actually not be on.
No, next week.
Yes, I'll actually let Em tell you about that.
Yeah. Next week, we've got me and Suzanne, because Tasha is, I don't know what she's doing, but she's not going to be here. And we're going to talk about, Suzanne is doing the traditional route of publishing at the moment. She's going through the querying process and the dealing with all the agents. And I am obviously self-published, doing quite well. So we're going to talk about the differences between the 2 roads. And I'm going to give you lots of hints and tips if you are going to go self-publishing, because I actually know what I'm doing now, which is amazing.
Baseballs. I talk like you for a day. I was like, baseballs.
I am the Queen of England. Only I am allowed to talk there.
I think between EL and then KT Hannah, who's from Australia, so you get the 2 of them talking with each other, and it's just like, I just want to listen and keep talking. Go on. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Maybe we should have KT on here next week as well, just to blow your mind.
See if she's available.
I might.
So, but yeah, so no, if you guys have any questions about the difference between self-publishing and traditional publishing, it looks like next week's show will be the show for you. So make sure you tune in, check out these lovely ladies. As for now, we're going to sign off, and you guys have a wildly creative night. And make sure you drink responsibly, write creatively, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye. Thank you.